Sure.
Okay, we're live. All right.
You're like,
Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful that we can meet again this week, and we pray that our discussion will be fruitful, that we will learn from one another, grow together, and Father, we're so grateful for this opportunity to attend BYU Idaho. We are grateful for the gospel and for our covenants. Please help us to be covenant keepers and to share our Savior's light and His love and goodness. And we pray the Spirit will attend us, and we pray that will be with our with Wayne and Daniel as well. In the name of Jesus Christ, Amen.
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 Okay. So let me follow through the agenda. So thank you all for coming for the meeting today. So we're going to be talking about James Turner at MLI. So it's the persons involved like should I just start with the introduction or tell everyone involved in the case? Just
yeah, whatever it says there. I haven't even read the.
Yeah, it says introduction, just to give you like a summary of the case.
Okay.
Okay, what I wrote was, and you guys can like, if you think that I missed anything, just say it. So I'm saying like Turner, at 32 years old, MBA graduate, has a good background in his studies. When Turner accepted the position at MLI that was offered to him under the impression that he would have full autonomy and fast growth, Turner had a few management and personal style issue with his boss, the president of MLI, Pat Cardullo, which I didn't like that guy.
I didn't either.
Oh, me neither.
Before the arrival of Oliver to solve the problem they were having in the company, Turner tried to set things straight with Cardullo, but he avoided him all the time. Turner was hired with high expectations. The case portrays Turner's developing problems and his unsuccessful attempts to resolve them, and also Cardullo's was going through several managerial challenges. Do you guys want to compliment with something like to do it?
I think you summarized that well. I mean, that's yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, that's definitely it in a nutshell.
And we all agree we don't like Cardillo.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
I didn't either.
I couldn't work for him.
Me neither. We would go like on fights every day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. So that was the synopsis of the case. And now we're going to go through some questions what are the roof problems in the case? What do you guys think is the roof problems that you could see in the case?
I stuck with the, I was kind of relating it to the 5 dysfunctions of a team, kind of more like that. So I really kind of just focused in on those. And, so when I said one of the, let's see, there's a glaring lack of trust, which was, a big one, the biggest dysfunction, I think. And that was basically he let's see, glaring lack of trust between all employees at MLI. For example, Cardillo started to seem distant and critical, and he intervened frequently in marketing decisions, sometimes undermining or even reversing Turner's decisions. And then also another example I gave was when there was an impending cash flow problem at MLI. When it was identified and brought to their attention, Cardullo and Julie Chin both dismissed the issue as unimportant, and that to me, they were both aware that MLI was experiencing cash flow problems. That wasn't, everyone was very aware of that, but that they would brush it off like that, to me, is very untrustworthy behavior.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw many problems, like the one of the like Beverly, Laurie said about lack of trust. I kind of relate that with. I read a book in another class. I'm doing business 283, and I read the book Speed of Trust. And like one thing that I learned, trust is everything. I have a hard time with it. Like I trust. I can trust people, but sometimes it's hard. Like when you're working, they like wanna like go over you, like just like go behind your back, and you know that happens. Like it's hard to trust someone that does that.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because I kind of got my first dose of all of that when I worked in the executive office, and I just there are just a lot of conversations and stuff that happen behind the scenes that you don't know about, and you know, people. I mean, it's just interesting, and you know, that was, I think, once you've been burned by a manager, it's really hard to it takes longer to develop trust with another manager, I guess, a new manager, for me anyway. I have some friends at work, and my current manager she's just awful. And there's some of my coworkers that were under her, and they got moved because there were so many issues with her. And so we have a friend who, as one of them, and so they got moved under some other managers, and one of these managers is going on maternity leave, right? And so a friend of mine is going to, during that time that this manager is on maternity leave, she's kind of filling in as their supervisor. And so it's a learning development opportunity for her. And when she met with that team, it was our admin team, and there's 3 of them. She said, you know, it sounds like you guys have PTSD. And I said, you know, when she told me this, I said, it's true. It's like when something like that happens, when you get burned by a manager or treated poorly, it is kind of like PTSD, and it's very difficult to rebuild that trust.
Yeah, that's if you have time, like anytime, like to get this book, it's really, really nice. This book.
Is it the organizational effectiveness class? Are you taking not organizational effectiveness, but the other one, the
it's the business 283.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called. I always forget like the exactly name. Yeah, it's the 283, and it's how it's called. Let's see. I'm gonna but it's it's not saying here, but it's the business effectiveness, and like I like this class. It's just like a little busy. You have to create your own business, make money to donate, but you learn a lot of things from it. It's very
okay.
But this book is like they just said like about lack of trust. You know, like it's important to have trust, and there was no trust at all between Cardillo and Turner. And I think everyone involved with Cardillo just treated everyone like they were no one, like there's nobody.
Yeah,
and that's a terrible mistake. To make a company grow, and when you work as a team, the company is gonna grow faster and in a better way, just like everybody working together. The ideas together makes the better ones, like the best ones.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest issues there. Should I?
Bev, I'm sorry, Bev. Did you say so? Did you have anything you wanted to
add? Just let's see. What was the question?
About do you think there is any? What is the root problems in the case? Do you think there is?
Oh well, Cardello is a jerk. Basically, You can't trust him. He yells at people. He's rude. He doesn't care about anybody. And as far as Turner, he didn't communicate well either. So there was a big age variation between the two. And no trust. Yeah. That sums it up.
You know, in talking about his, Cardillo's horrible behavior, one of the dysfunctions that I noticed is that they were afraid of conflict. You know, they weren't. So Turner found that many of them were reticent and seemingly intimidated by him, and that's not by accident. You know, I believe Cardullo's behavior, he caused the employees to be afraid to voice their opinions to the company's leadership. So, I mean, it was really a climate of fear of conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are like getting a lot of problems. Like it's just I one thing that I noticed, like I don't know, that I got that like from the case is that Cardillo didn't let like
That's weird.
Oh, someone's calling from where? Oh, Daniel is calling. But we are on the meeting already.
I'm not even seeing it.
He's calling. Let me try to call him. Because I invited him.
Yeah.
So it's here. Let me try again. Daniel Parker. Invite. I don't know if maybe he didn't see the link. Let's see if he's gonna send it. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about being late.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
We just began like 10 minutes ago. So you're good.
I've got lots of fires around me going on.
So Daniel, we were getting the first question to see like what is the roof problems on the case.
Okay.
Do you want to add like say any problems that you might see in the case?
My biggest thing is I'm just gonna, if you guys can't see me, I'm still here, but my biggest thing was it sounds like the manager has a split personality.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah.
It's like one day he's great, the next day he's not, and so there's no consistency on what you can expect from the guy. If he's always going to be a jerk, then at least you know what to expect from him.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest thing is, you know, how do you know what to expect from one day to the next, and especially when you've been told that you're going to have all this freedom and you know, this is your baby, you know, do it how you need to or want to and what's going to be best, and then all of a sudden, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make sense to me. So.
Yeah, he was very, one of the examples that I noticed is that, you know, he would say, he believes firmly in management by objectives and stressed the importance of good communication, but his actions weren't in alignment with these statements. So he wasn't focused on results. And his MLI lost increasingly more money under his leadership, and he didn't seem too concerned. And the communication, that was a big point. You know, he avoided meaningful and substantive interactions. And you know, when the Mr. Turner, what's his first name?
Jamie.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, when Jamie approached him about needing his presence more often at MLI and about establishing a regular conference call to keep him informed, he seemed receptive to that. And that was when they were on the plane. But with time, communications disintegrated even further. So he just didn't. What he was saying wasn't in alignment with his actions.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think so too.
One thing too, sorry guys, I'm talking a lot, but one thing I noticed too is that, I think Mr. Cardullo, he's wearing too many hats. So he's being pulled in a lot of different directions as, he's president of Triple S's mobile system support as well as president of MLI. He's just pulled in too many directions. But also, he said that, his philosophy is that each manager should run his or her own area with minimal help from other functions. But I feel like that creates silos within the company. And if that's the case, problems are sure to follow. It's kind of like if the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, there are going to be problems.
Right. And I think when you go a little bit further with that, sometimes when one department in a company is really struggling, others are doing really well, and vice versa. And so if one of his departments, he makes a decision for one department, it can negatively affect the other department. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense why he would be running two different areas in the company when a lot of times you can't really make the best choice for the one without affecting the other negatively. So to me, it just doesn't make sense why they would allow it, but they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to next question. So the next question is, how did Turner get himself into this predicament, and what is going on for Cardullo?
Well, Jamie had a lot of Turner. He had a lot of expectations from the very beginning. I mean, he thought that he would be able to have a rapid personal growth there. That he'd have more challenges and full autonomy. So he was, he thought it would be a better job than what he was coming from. So that's how he got into this.
Gonna get a lot of money out of it. I think that's have helped him to make a decision.
Yeah, is it worth it? Right? Is the pay raise worth it?
Yeah, there was a lot of money involved.
Yeah. I think that I'm just going to kind of scroll through the recommendations I made, and I think that a couple of them will tie into how we got in the predicament. Is I think managing up was really his only option for when you're in a situation like that where your management is so poor, you have to really manage up. And so another one of the big problems they had is there was just no clarity around direction and priorities, no common objectives. So I think him not stepping up when he saw the problems and addressing them face on, and then managing up, things just got worse. He ended up being more of a victim, I think, because he didn't do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So what did Pat Cardillo and Jim Turner? It's Jamie or Jimmy? Jamie, right?
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Turner each initially bring to the situation at MLI that would seem to ensure success and or failure? Um, what they brought to the company that seem to ensure success or ensure failure?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
So the question is like, what Cardullo and Turner, like at the beginning, what they brought since the beginning to the situation they had at MLI that would seem to ensure success, failure.
So how they chose to handle things, did it ensure success or failure? Is that the question?
Yeah, I think the question is like, what did they at the beginning, like what they brought to the situation?
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I tend to point the finger more at Cadola or whatever. Yeah, Cardula. Cardullo.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, he's the manager, and as a manager, you're the one that sets these objectives and goals, and and sets the tone.
Right.
Aww. That's cute. Aww.
Ultimately, when you're the manager, it's just like in sports. When you're the manager, you're the coach, everything falls back on you. And so
Yeah.
if your team is struggling, if you're, it falls back on you. No matter what they've done wrong, or, I mean, you can only justify it so long. And eventually it comes back on poor leadership or lack of communication, something back to the manager. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think it's all on Cordola.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I understood right, like the question, because it says about the success or the failure they had. I think what they brought for the situation is like what you guys said, and also like the way they. Sorry. So it's the way they conduct the situation. Like Cardullo conduct the situation very like on his own. Like he didn't wanna. Adam, stop. Sorry. So yeah, he's acting wild. He's tired. So okay, my husband took him. So yeah.
It's okay, Mom.
When he gets tired, he just wants mommy. So
That's cute.
so I think they didn't like the situation was not controlled well by Cardullo. Cardullo would just act like I think he acted like the company was his, and he would do whatever he wants, and that made like the figure for the company happen, like on this on all those with all the like the problems they had. So
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm such a kid person. I'm going to make this worse. So I'm not going to do anything. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay, so anyone want to add something else?
Well, I think it's just like along the lines that you were saying is like Cardola is like just kind of coasting, going through the motions with it. It's like it will all work itself out. It will work itself out. I don't need to worry about this. It's going to work itself out. But for Jamie, he's like, I want this. This is my, I left my other job and my career and, that was going well for this because it's supposed to be a step up. And so he's really working to try and get it in the right direction to run smoothly and to show that he deserves this as a younger person, and so it seemed to me that it meant more to Jamie than it did to Cardola.
Yeah. I know some of the actions I recommended is, pardon me, to speak immediately, sincerely, candidly, and in depth with Cardullo about the dysfunctions. Encourage Cardullo and his management team to spend time together working through and resolving the dysfunctions, and and schedule annual offsite planning meetings, quarterly offsite meetings. It's like a team that meets together. That makes all the difference, having that face-to-face time together.
Yeah.
Consider, and then basically I took the dysfunctions that applied to this situation. I took the recommendations out of the book and included that in the recommendation. Like a team that focuses on collective results, retains achievement-oriented employees, minimizes individualistic behavior, enjoys success and suffers failure acutely, benefits from individuals, that kind of stuff. I mean, there's always, if Cardilla is unresponsive and unsupportive, then maybe he could escalate to higher management, or, it may end up being that he's asked to leave, resign. Who knows?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, great comments. So next questions, like what were the key choice points where either, are you saying something? Oh, sorry, I thought I heard something. So what were the key choice points where either of them could have done things differently? So, sorry. So let me just focus on the question again. It was, so I think the key point, like the key choices, like from my point of view, it's like we should start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like since the first day, like Cardullo should have worked with Daniel, like from sorry. I'm seeing like my son
Jamie?
here. It's just like he's running like without clothes, so he's just like okay. So okay, I think from the from the beginning, I think they should have worked together. Cardullo was he hired Jamie for a position and should let him like allow him to try to solve the problem, but also they should try to solve together, not just by just like like just like he tried to go over Jamie.
What are you doing? You are so silly.
So you have your dog there jumping there, and I have my son jumping.
I know, but it's like she's up in my grill.
I cannot focus. I'm trying to focus. When I'm trying to say something, he jumps on me. He's just like, hey, I need to focus, buddy. So, okay. Okay, sorry, guys. So, yeah, I think they should have worked that out since the beginning. Daniel, sorry, I keep saying Daniel.
That's all right. I should have worked it out too.
I was talking a lot with my brother today. His name is Daniel. I'm helping them with the moving to the West. So that's why I think I said Daniel. Hey. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna run away from him to another bedroom. So It's not gonna reach to me. More. There.
I can't hear you.
I think she's trying to talk to her husband.
Oh, okay.
Tá, ele se entrou no... Okay, sorry. So, do you guys have any comments about that? About like what the choice, like what was the key choice points?
I think you know, when conflict arose, like over the money situation, they needed to actually really engage in conversation and work through that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And you know, I think too, if there were some things that Jamie was reticent about before starting, I don't have the case right in front of me, but I could, you know, there were a couple of questions kind of that he had before he started the job. Does anybody remember what those were?
Hold on, I got it. Let's see, where is that?
I'm in the same boat. I don't have it in front of me.
I'm looking for it, but I'm not.
I could have sworn it said something about that, but I think he kind of chalked it up to something else and kind of let it slide, and you know, those things that we let. What does it say?
Wait, two things about. Oh no, that was at the other place. Hold on. Where is it?
Yeah, I remember you saying something about, or reading something about it.
Yeah.
But it's almost like he had the questions, they didn't get answered, but everything sounded so good, and so it feels good. So I'm just not going to worry about getting what I want. He probably should have been a little more proactive at taking it a little slower, maybe getting to know some of the people. And
maybe it's in the beginning. Yeah. Okay, here. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. A part of the family-owned organization. Those peak sales. So the whole MLI urgently needed to fill the new position of vice president. Perhaps Jamie could have asked why it was so urgent. You know, could have had to do with the money problems that they were having, and would he really want to be in a position like that?
Yeah.
Pat, let's see. Pat Cardillo wanted someone who could take more responsibility relatively quickly, so that makes sense since he was wearing two hats. Okay, after this.
So I don't think it said anything about this, but I guess one question is, why would the previous person in that job description, why did they leave?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there you go. And then here's the part I think I'm thinking of. Cardullo's relations with some of his peers at Triple S seemed strained, but his strong track record and his close rapport with Lipsky had tipped the balance in favor of adding MLI to Triple S. So he's having some issues. You know, he's having relationship issues.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember anything saying like if there was someone working for that position before. Just said that they have like urgent to fill that position,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to fill up this
Yeah.
position. So doesn't mention
But
anything
he
about.
should have asked why. Why did they leave? Why so urgently? You know, why
Yeah.
delved a little bit different. Um, okay, so Turner was surprised to learn that Cardullo was also president of Triple S's $600 million mobile systems and support group.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that might be a little red flag that Cardillo isn't going to really be engaging much with him or mentoring him, training him, that kind of stuff. I don't know. He's not going to have the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Drew, let's get back to your
Huh.
study, okay? Love you.
So
Can I? So next question now, or
Yeah.
okay?
sure.
How, if at all, should Turner approach Cardullo at the end of the case? There is any way of approaching Cardullo?
Oh, I know. But he has to.
Just yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think being nicey nice is out the window when you're in a situation like that. I mean, you should always be diplomatic, but I think, you know, being candid and sincere and not allowing you to be blown off. You know, it's like, no, this is very serious. We need to discuss it. So being, you know, firm with someone like Cardullo, they'll just blow you off
Yeah.
or walk all over you if you're not.
Yeah, and I think you just have to give them the ultimatum. I know that Turner was not excited about, another job in a short period of time,
Yeah.
but it's better to take another job in a short period of time than to, live with a job that you're really destined to fail at.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because first of all, you're not learning anything, and second, your confidence is going to be shot for the next time.
Right.
So finally get to go somewhere where that is the way it's supposed to be, you're not going to have any confidence to do it.
Yeah.
That was a good answer. I didn't think of that.
Good question. Good answer.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I just thought he needed to find a way to improve this communication with whatever his name is, Cadolo, and that they needed to find a happy medium somewhere and be able to so they could work better together. But Turner had to figure out a way to I don't know. I guess I want to say become more of a friend to him so he could tell him, hey, look, you need some management skills. You're not a good leader. You know what I mean? In a nice way. I don't know. I mean, what do you do?
I think he's set in his ways, and so
Yeah.
you've got to give him, say, hey, look, it either has to be this way or I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and you've got very defined roles. This is my role. This is your role. If we cross over those, it has to be for a reason. It can't just be because, oh, I wanted it this way without, discussing it and going through it. Because
Yeah.
he's being undercut. He's not getting the respect that he was told he was going to have. And so I think he just has to stand up for himself and say, this is a problem. If it doesn't get fixed, then I'm not valuable here. You don't need me. You said you needed me and you wanted to give me all this autonomy and everything, but you're not giving it to me. So why am I here?
Right. Yeah. And I totally get that point because like I worked with this for 7 years. I worked for an Italian guy that always yelled like 1 minute. I mean, he yells like this guy did, cussing and everything. And then, 10, 15 minutes later, he's like sweet on you. So
No,
I'm just like, yeah, this is this guy. I
yeah,
could so see him in this guy, and it's the more I read this story, the more I could think about him. I was like, oh, I'm so glad I don't work there anymore. But
just
that was so him.
don't feel bad about it. That's an Italian thing. Italians,
Uh-huh.
all these.
Oh, they all do. Yeah.
So that's
Is it like they're just very passionate and very like wear their feelings on their sleeves?
Yeah.
And,
I'm gonna tell you something. I have Italian in my family.
uh-huh.
I have like my citizenship as Italian,
Uh-huh.
and I sometimes get myself like talking like really loud and screaming, but it's just not because I want to be mean or something. It's just like I'm just talking out loud, like just very loud. And my husband said, "Hey, just lower your voice. Like, come on." Like I'm just talking normal. It's just like we are very noisy. You know, don't get personal. Yeah. Okay,
I
guys.
I had one boss that I had like a whole stack of papers like really high that I was like trying to, I was trying to put their payables, I was trying to put it in the computer.
Mhm.
And he wasn't even mad at me. It was somebody else he was mad at, but he was just like, and they talk with their hands, like he's like flying, his hands are flying, he's all yelling and screaming. And then the next thing I know, he takes his hand, he would like swish all the way across my desk, and every paper on my desk was on the floor. And I had them in like alphabetical order, and now they're all like a mess. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it wasn't me. He wasn't even mad at me, but it was me who got, I had to look
I
at the
I
root of
talk with my hands as well.
I do too all the time.
That's very common, very normal. Like, yeah. So in Brazil, there's a lot of Italians. So,
That's fair.
but that's yeah,
That's funny.
just a
Yeah,
culture thing. So
that's so funny.
yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Also, like I just noticed, I forgot to mention, but like Wayne sent like some answers for us, but it's like,
Yeah.
what do we think about what's going on in the case? What is interest about? And I can do like the conclusion now about the case,
Mm-hmm.
and also to read some of his stuff about it. And so I think this way he can like participate a little bit. And we know he couldn't make it.
Yeah, I personally
I,
read through some of them
Yep.
I do
also,
too.
so I don't know if we need to
I
go
read
through
them
them.
too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, but it's good to let like to record that we read that, and in some way he participated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see the next one. So we should share some like any last comment, like the conclusion. So my comments is like on general, Cardillo, I never want to see him in front of me or work for him. I don't want to have a boss like him. He's an example of like what is like to be a bad boss.
Yeah.
But I can take it like I can take out like a good thing for myself, like uh, by those mistakes that he made with like employees or with Jamie and everyone else. Uh, it's kind of like his mistakes. We can learn from and not do the same, like just do differently. Uh, we can like see the what happened in the case and act differently. We can. It's hard to like. It's not that it's a good thing like what he did, but we can take for us like what we should do like in like situations like they went through, and always try to work together. I don't know. What do you guys have any last comment about the case?
I think that's great. Learning from other people's mistakes. And seeing it when we're not, and someone involved in what's happening. I'm glad we do these case studies because it allows me to see it from as an outsider. And it's easier for me to see what's going on. When I'm personally involved, it's really hard for me to objectively see things. But yeah, I mean, take these and learn from them.
Yeah. So I think that sums up everything. Like, one thing that I want to say is that we always, when you're making mistakes, it's a thing. It means that you're going forward, not backward. So it's
Hey guys, I gotta get. My
okay.
son is sick, so.
Aw.
So
Okay.
yeah. So that's the conclusion. Thank you guys for
Take care,
coming.
Daniel.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you, Danielle.
Bye.
Sorry.
No,
It's
it's fine. You're good.
Bye.
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 And thank you, girls, like for coming for the meeting.
You're
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah. I cannot believe it. We're done next week.
I
Isn't
know,
that
it's
weird?
crazy.
So yeah, that's very weird. We just need to try to see exactly how it's gonna work out next week, but we can like give ideas, like to
Email back and forth and figure it out.
figure
Yeah.
it
Like I
out.
said, Bev, I can meet on another night so you can, you can share out.
Okay.
So let me just, can I stop the broadcasting?
Yeah.